Hey guys, and welcome back to Cedarwood Valley. This is going to be episode 3, and I'm actually creating a new section in this part. It's been a long time since I've recorded a video. I actually kind of got, I wouldn't say like, I was frustrated with Planet Coaster for a while. Every time I tried to come and work on the park, my Planet Coaster would crash. I would lose everything I was working on, and in terms of what I wanted to do, that was quite annoying because I was looking for something very custom, not something that I could be, easily replicating if I had lost a bunch of content and had to do it over again. So that combined with, a bunch of other personal things in my life, I actually just graduated this May and I am now employed, so it's a little more difficult to get on Planet Coaster. It's been a very long summer of applying and interviewing and all that stuff, and if you've gone through it before, you know what I mean. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit more about why there's been so many delays in me uploading consistently for this park. And I do want to upload a little more consistently, although life takes turns, and who knows where that's gonna take me next. So I don't really know how that's gonna work, but for now I'll try to post content. Today is maybe a little bit shorter than usual, but I don't think that's gonna be too much of a problem because I actually got a lot done off camera, on camera. Because of, like I was losing stuff and then getting stuff back over a month now. So let's just talk a little bit about this new section of the park. So this is going to be the first build, or the first, the beginnings to what I'm going to be calling Cedarwood, or Camp Cedarwood. And so this is kind of inspired off of like Camp Snoopy sort of, but not entirely. Camp Snoopy is at the Cedar Fair parks. I was first introduced at Dorney Park, which is the one I've gone to the most in terms of Cedar Fair parks. So I just kind of want to make, not necessarily only for younger kids, but that's kind of the direction I was going. And as you can see, I'm having a lot of trouble with creating a cover for this flat ride here. The original intention was for me to make sort of like a gazebo styled thing, because I don't know, gazebos just remind me of camp and campgrounds and stuff like that. And I was having such a difficult time actually duplicating my things, turning them around, making something that I actually was okay with. It didn't really matter because what you see right now got completely deleted anyways. And I'm not sure when it's going to come, but there's going to be a big cut, and there's going to be I think there's going to be 3 gazebos that are going to be fully built and in the park at one point. And I apologize for that. I actually got really frustrated, like I said. It kept crashing on me, and then this was just so difficult to do this. Until I found a way that really, made a lot more sense. Hopefully that's going to help me with my building in the future, but only time will tell that. So yeah, this is my first sort of rough draft on what I really wanted to do, and I really wanted to be like, kind of like in the woods. I haven't really created like an entrance part to it yet, or like a sign or anything, but I'm going to have to do that in a later episode. So yeah, you can see here, I have my gazebos fully done. And now I'm just creating really quick paths to the main path here. And now at first I was, like you saw, I was trying to do like a little cattle pen sort of thing. And then I realized, like, if this is going to be a kid's section in the park, they don't really do that. They just have really short queues. And because, they're not very popular rides, which is okay. Because it's supposed to be like, family-friendly area where not too many people are coming in. But I might change that, as this area evolves into something completely different. Like that little, I forgot what it's called, that mini Ferris wheel with the pirate theme and the octopi in it. I'm probably going to remove that completely and put like a campgrounds or like a picnic area, but I haven't really decided yet. So yeah, as you can see, I'm starting to work on a new coaster. Now, at first I had the junior coaster because, like I said, I wanted to make it sort of like this, I don't know, like this kid area. And then I realized I really wanted to make a mine train. And so this is the beginnings of the mine train, which is going to be named Coal Cracker. Now, Coal Cracker is actually named after my first park I ever went to a lot was Hershey Park. And if you know, they had an aerodynamics log flume. And so I actually used to go on there all the time, and that's name was Coal Cracker. So the whole idea of this was to kind of lay out where I wanted those flat rides to be. Like they came first, sort of. And then I wanted to build the mine train around it like it was built at a separate time. Now, another thing I wanted to think about was when you enter this area, I want the coal crackers, station to be a mini weenie. And now, if you're not familiar with the term weenie, if you're watching my videos, I think you should know what a weenie is. It's such a common term for Disney in terms of like, they'll have like in the Magic Kingdom, their weenie is the castle, and it's kind of like it brings people to the area, right? And so the way that this is going to be, I'm going to have everything cordoned off by trees over here, obviously, because it's going to be Camp Cedarwood, so it's going to be in with all the trees. But once you actually get into the pass in Camp Cedarwood, I want the Coal Crackers station to kind of be in the limelight, kind of be like the main thing that's attracting you. Whereas these gazebos, as nice as they do turn out in the end, aren't really the main, the main thing to look at, the main thing that you want to go on. What you want to go on is Coal Cracker. And so now here you can see me going into these elements here. I just want to touch on like, the part that turns around. That's actually inspired by the mine train that's at Hershey Park as well. And that one's called Trailblazer, I believe, where it dips down right by the path, and does a helix up, and actually goes into the station at the end of it. But instead, I try to do this double up over here, and then I'm thinking of where I want to put the mountain, because obviously there's going to be a mountain here. I couldn't decide if I wanted to make it, like a show building sort of mountain, like, in the likes of like Verbolten, or if I wanted to make an actual mountain, like a lot of mine trains are built on terrain. I decided in the end to go with terrain, and that'll be kind of after I do the whole layout and after my my vision of the layout comes to fruition. That's when I kind of think, all right, now here's how I want to make the terrain, and we'll talk about that once that comes. So yeah, this is where if I was going to build a show building, it would be, but in the end, this is actually all engulfed by the actual mountain itself. So you saw me add a little block break section there. I just wanted that so I can get more trains on the track at the time, and a lot of mine trains have more than one lift, and so that's what I was doing here. I was trying to figure out how can I make this turn around right here, and then go back up the mountain and come down on the other side. And I actually had a big problem with this because, like I said, I wanted to be sort of like this was built, after these flat rides and these gazebos, and after Camp Cedarwood. Maybe Camp Cedarwood was part of the original park, right? And maybe these first little flat rides here that aren't too crazy, aren't too brand new or anything like that, were built with the beginning of Camp Cedarwood. And I haven't decided yet if I want to make it like a full campgrounds thing, but that'll just come with time and what I really want to do. So you can see here, I really want to get the angle right because I don't want it to intersect with the block breaks or the main lift. But I also don't want it to intersect with where I envision, where the mountain's going to be here. So this is the end of the second lift, and I at first I wanted to kind of dive down, almost like how GCI and B&M does. They do really really great drops that are curved into the side, and then I realized that would be kind of stupid because this is on the top of the mountain, and so I'd have to dig it through the mountain, or I'd have to do what I did in the end and not do that at all. So now here you can see me going underground. I just wanted to create a different level of terrain that I didn't have before, because I don't think this ride so far had gone below the actual ground level, and I thought that was kind of odd because that's not really how real life works, obviously. So what I ended up doing was I had that helix kind of going down and then back up and then again into the mountain where this what would have been a show building is again. More helixes, because this is more of a family ride, and I end up coming out the back of the mountain over here, over by, the first lift hill, and then adding in those very great rating-wise Planko air hills. I actually did this whole thing with the intention of creating everything in 4 or 6 meter pieces, and then doing the trick that was made popular by Silver Red. Actually, now, he wasn't the one that had made it, but he's the one that made it popular. Even though I had seen it beforehand, but it really does help out, make everything a lot more smooth. You can see me constantly saving because I was just terrified of it crashing again. So you can see me, digging out the train where I want it to be, and now we're gonna go into, this first POV, which still gonna be sped up because it's very janky, not smooth at all. And then I cut out the entire part of me doing the 4 meter section, edit. And basically, all that means is you take four 4 meter pieces or 6 meter pieces, and then you smooth them, and then you select the next one over, and you select those four, and then you smooth those. And you can see it, you'll see it in a second when it pops up. So I'd select 4, smooth it, move over, select 4, move it, select 4, move it, exactly. And so I keep doing that, and I smooth the entire ride. And so now you can see another jump forward. I actually had a lot of trouble with figuring out how I wanted the terrain to be. One of the big problems was when I'd flip on and flip off the switch that would, create the non-collision with the track. Because obviously, if I wanted to go inside like this, if I had no collision turned on, then these would all be engulfed in terrain, and that would not be okay, because that's not realistic at all. So now you can see me. I'm actually kind of carving out the shape that I wanted to have in the front of it, and these entrances and exits were very, very difficult to make with the collision turned off. Or sorry, with the collision turned on. So now I had just turned off the collision, and now I'm making everything flush to the mountain itself. And actually, I'm really happy with the little section with the double up, which is right next to the main drop, because it just gives that little extra, not necessarily realism, but it's just really cool, the different levels that could have been there on the mountain itself. Say if this wasn't built for the coaster, or say if the coaster was built around the mountain. So as you can see, I'm just sort of making everything a lot more connective than it had been before. I'm smoothing out some places that needed touch-ups, and then eventually this is coming towards the end of the time lapse. I actually went in off camera and I added in a bunch of trees and stuff like that, just for some cinematics for you guys. I don't have a POV on here because I'm actually planning on adding a lot to this. A lot of wooden supports, a lot of bridges, a lot more trees, rocks, that sort of thing. Maybe polishing up the inside of this quote-unquote showroom, and I haven't decided yet if that's what I want to do. So yeah, this is the last POV. I know it's sped up, but it's not that great. Anyways, you'll get a full POV when it's all done, and I'm going to leave you guys with some cinematics. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time in Cedarwood Valley.